Getting ready to carve the balsa wood prop. I have the layout done on the block, and I was looking at the book, Rubber Power Model Airplanes, and mostly just refreshing my memory on it. Kind of interesting. They have a lot of information on how to carve a prop. This is interesting here. These are the cuts that you make to get your pitch on each blade, and this is actually a prop block for molding prop blades. I'm going to be doing a prop out of a solid block, but this technique of cutting these out, and then you actually cut these off and follow the pitch. So where each of these cuts begin and end, it starts to create, or does create, that pitch. It has tables in here for figuring out the dimensions for these blocks, which I don't have to do. I have these dimensions. But here is a key point. This shaded section right here. Remove last. We are going to, so this is the front of the prop. We're going to be cutting on the back side. We're going to be using this area here to be cutting corner to corner to create that pitch. And I'll show you in a little bit what that does for the for carving the prop. If we go back to the beginning of this section, just to share a little more about figuring out the dimensions for the block, use this table. This is the model type. This is endurance model. Here's how to calculate, based on your wing area, the prop diameter, and then the percentage of that for the width. And then this is the one I'm most interested in, is the pitch diameter ratio. So for an endurance model, you'd have a 1.2 to 1 pitch diameter ratio. So now if we go back to here, you would use that, as I said, the maximum chord and your pitch diameter ratio, these factors to come up with your dimensions for your block. But the reason I was looking at that is now I can tell you that 16-inch diameter prop with a 1.2 to 1 pitch diameter ratio, this would be a 16-inch diameter by 19-inch pitch prop. The last thing to share with you before I start carving is I actually found the directions for this kit. So Midway Model Company is where I got this from. There's actually an article in here that was written by Ed Lamb and published in Model Airplane News, 1941. There's Ed Lamb with his model before the contest. This is the national champion launches his winner, and I'm going to guess this is a photograph of his model flying in this contest. This is crazy. So, written by Ed Lamb, how to construct the winner of the 1941 Nationals Open Division event, which is 3 flights, 102 seconds, and he talks about this contest and a little bit about building the model before the contest. So I'll let you pause on that screen if you want to read his short little story about this contest. He's got construction notes in here, which was interesting to read. It looks like I did all right with the building. Got a little bit of flying information here. And this is interesting. He has this flying as a right climb, right turn. So if you want to pause that and read that, tells a little bit about flight. But here's the thing why I want to and I have to use these prop block measurements. I don't need to do the figuring like is in the rubber powered model airplane book. In SAM events, you must use the prop that was used originally on the model. So there's that. Very interesting. And the bigger deal is, so I have a full-size print that Midway Models supplied. What they would do in these magazines is, this is the size of a magazine paper, and they would give these reference points here. So here is a table for the dimensions. You'd have to lay this out yourself on a board to build your fuselage. And then look at the stabilizer in the wing. They actually use graph paper. So you would have to lay that out yourself to build it. And now I have the print. So it's not even laid out the same as my print, what you're looking at here. So here's your prop block dimensions. There's your specifications on the model. But here's the big find. So they did the rudder because it would fit on, this is all parts in the sheet are the full size. And here's the ribs, layout for the ribs. A few other things on here, like these are trailing edge of a wing, rudder ribs, a lot of stuff here. Here's the big one that I was going to wing it. I thought I didn't have it. The prop template. So after you carve the block to these corners and then you establish your thickness, then you cut out your outline of the prop. So this is really good. I have the propeller template. It also has the folding prop, the hinges, and the stop design here. Looks like what he did back then. Material to make it, I won't be using that. I'll make it the way I make my folding props. Just thinking, going back to this flying section on this article, Ed Lamb has his set up for a right climb, right glide. And I want to do a right climb, left glide. But that's confirming the airfoil on the rudder is causing the model to turn to the right. Okay, I have my prop block dimensions laid out. So I have this view drawn on the top and on the bottom. And I have the side view laid out on both sides. When we cut the pitch, we're going to have it turned over this way, the back side of the prop. I have it marked with the F for the front. And the reason I have it marked all the way around the block is I need these to be accurate cuts, because when I cut the pitch down through this block, I'm going to be making saw cuts close together, probably 1/8 inch apart. I'm going to be going to the corners that are established from these cuts. So I'm going to be making cuts starting on this corner, going up to this corner. That will give me my tip pitch. As I work my way down the block, I'm going to be cutting On this side, I'll be cutting down to this corner and this corner. On this side, this corner to this corner. Picture those cuts, starting with the tip pitch, working our way to the center of the prop. In order for that pitch to get steeper near the center of the prop, that's why we're not taking this out. I will be making those cuts from this corner up to this corner, which is going to be higher than from this corner, ready for this, to this corner if we cut this out right away. So they have it worked out with these prop block dimensions to create a given pitch. Leave this in there. Cut up to this corner, down to this corner, near the center of the prop. If you look at the blade on a carved prop, these straight cuts that I was talking about, this, as you work down the pitch, you can hold a straight edge on there. It just transitions, so you get all those cuts in there transitioning down, and then you carve them pieces out and you establish those surfaces, both sides of the prop, finish them to the corners that are on this block. So that is your pitch. Then you carve the back side of the propeller, get your airfoil shape, and then the last thing you do is lay your template on there and cut out the shape of the prop. So if you reference a few things here, you can see this pitch angle going right up through here is the same as this pitch angle from here to here. There is the prop block sawed out. I reestablish the lines of the area I'm going to remove later so I don't lose my orientation. I still have it marked on the front. Before I started sawing it, I did drill a 1/16 of an inch hole in my milling machine, just far enough so it's going through here. So I'm going to go ahead and final plane and sand it to the lines and then start my saw cuts for the pitch. A good knife and a plane actually worked better than a sanding block. It's quicker, and then you get shavings instead of dust. I use the plane going down grain to plane the tips. Didn't work in the middle because the plane hits the center of the hub. So for the middle, use the knife. So that's pretty well cut to the lines, accurate enough for starting the pitch cuts. I want to reestablish these lines at the break point, and here is the front of the hub. I'm going to keep these lines, and I want to reestablish these lines so I keep my direction straight when I cut my pitch cuts. I've kept the section to remove up, made my pitch cuts this way, and I've followed this edge and this edge and this edge and this edge. Probably cut to between a 1/16 and an 1/8 of an inch away. And now for the fun part. Carbon and propeller. Got a lot of work to do.